A lot of people been really enjoying the reviews of, I would say bad, but these go way beyond bad. I mean, I hate to use foul language right here, but just downright shitty films, man. I mean, the kind that are so shitty that they're enjoyable to talk about. You know, you got bad, which is just, you know what, just I'm done. We'll leave this shit right here, and we will never discuss this again. And then there's some that are just, oh, well, I can't stop thinking about this bullshit, man. How? And why?
Why? Mostly.
Yeah, why?
Don't add more pain to their already diminished lives.
Why have you done this?
What you really want is that gift certificate from dtmerch.com.
It's worth more.
It's worth more. You can't get the classic black tee with the white logo on Amazon. You can't get Martin's limited edition shirt right there, the Great and Powerful Ozzy on Amazon. You can get a lot of things. The other variety of shirts, jerseys. We got the coffee cups, or you can put some tea in there, put some milk, whatever you want to put in there. It's a cup. Take anything. Some of you out there, you don't understand how important of a role you Toasties play in the existence of doubletoasted.com and the live streams that we do. That's how we get by, mainly because of you. And that is through your subscriptions, your donations, the listens that you do on the SoundCloud, the iTunes, wherever that still exists, or the Apple podcast. This is so crazy, man, this movie. The 1996 Island of Dr. Moreau.
In a remote laboratory, an exiled scientist created something impossible.
This movie.
Unmistakably human on the island of Dr. Moreau.
And now, I'm going to tell you something, man. I have not seen this movie, nor have I seen any version or even read any version of The Island of Dr. Moreau. Of course, this is more of the pulp version of it right here, but that's an H.G. Wells story. If you couldn't tell by the trailer that we just saw, it's an island where you have a scientist who has started to, as they say, what you should never do with science, and that is play God. He's crossed the genes and DNA of animals and man. And
evolving animals to the point of being human hybrids.
Yes, right. And of course, you know, he thinks that because of his own hubris and that he is the ultimate man on this island, that he is the one that is smarter than all of them and he rules them all. But it's only a matter of time before these mutant animals say, we are tired of this shit.
Yep.
And we are the ones that run this motherfucker right here. It's a popular film series for either being sort of, bad, like the one that we have with the 1996 version, or you have some that are remembered as being, you know what, they weren't great, but they're kind of these campy movies that people used to see at midnight on television, kind of B-level monster movie type material, like the 70s The Island of Dr. Moreau that came out.
The Island of Dr. Moreau. The island was a Garden of Eden, a tropical paradise.
Fuck you, Michael York.
I don't know y'all, man.
That weird voice.
Yeah, who are the actors in this one?
It's,
Michael York.
Michael York is the main guy. Dr. Moreau is Burt Lancaster.
Burt Lancaster, yeah.
And the girl is Barbara Carrera.
This is one of those movies that is so bad that it is legendary. And as I watched it, you know, it was about a good hour into it, and I was just like, okay, you know, I'm not getting that level of terrible that y'all are talking about out there. You know, looking at it, as I said, with the 70s version, okay, it's not good, but terrible to the point that, you know, this is something that I'm going to be talking about and having fun making fun of it. It's like the 70s version of this. It's a B monster movie. The worst thing you say about it, the effects are kind of dated. You know, the performances are over the top. There's some cool sci-fi ideas here, but, you know, at the same time, it's nothing too serious. It's not terrible. It's actually kind of mad at y'all, man. You know, because the bar has been set high.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. You were like, "Yeah, I was watched it. It's bad, but y'all don't really know what the criteria is for these really bad movies."
That's what it was.
That's why I didn't bother to watch it.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I was like, y'all don't understand, man. Right? There's a criteria here. There's a bar that's been set for the level of terrible that I want to see with these movies. Y'all got to understand. For the last 2 bad movies that we done, that bar was set very high. We were watching, sure, these are mutant animals, but they ain't got none of these mutant ass kangaroos right here doing karate and warriors of virtue. You got an overacting that my man Angus McFadden has done in this movie is that, something that just don't even bother to explain. Island of Dr. Moreau, they say, hey, look, I'm on an island, I'm playing God, mixing animals and humans together. Boom, you got a premise. They didn't try to even explain those kangaroos in that movie.
Nope.
And I was mad at y'all, man. As I was watching the Island of Dr. Moreau, I was like, how dare y'all have me watch something that's not complete bullshit, wasting my time with my valuable time with fairly decent entertainment. How dare you, man, do that to me? But as I watched, as the movie went on, and I have to say, even when I wasn't thinking it was bad, I was getting a very unsettling feeling. You see, as I was watching this, I was getting this feeling like the way people get a feeling when they're in a haunted house. They just kind of they just kind of like this. I don't know what it is, but there's just something not right about this house. I was watching this movie and I was like, it's not anything. There's no crazy crime solving dinosaurs, no karate kangaroos here, but there's just something not right here. And then I realized after an hour in, I was like, no, the movie is just fucking weird, man.
Yeah.
In a manner that transcends beyond the film itself. I had to actually look this up to see if the movie was PG-13 because I was like, how the hell did you get away with this? And I was telling my wife about this. She's like, what, is it the violence that's in it? Is it too bloody? And I was like, no, there's a scene where these animals get together and they just all start f***ing each other. There's an orgy.
Big animal orgy.
A big animal orgy in this movie, and there's no look. You don't have. It's not like that scrambled porn you used to watch when you were a kid. When you were a little kid. No, it's obvious that all these animals got together, and all of them are just f***ing each other.
Sherlock Holmes once asked Dr. Watson, "Did you notice?"
He been tearing ass up.
I mean, it is clear as day. Because at first I was kind of like, all right, I think they all humping each other, but once I saw this dude right here,
did you notice?
Oh shit, he putting in work. All right, I kind of like the theme that's going on here. I'm kind of curious to see what these animals are going to look like the more we see of it, because even when it's boring, there's things in here like, they're showing scenes. I mean, this is graphic, man. They're showing scenes of animal mutant birth. All these weird things that are going on. And and then even when it does start to actually do something, at that point it's just goofy, man. It gets silly. The action, it's just the costumes get crazy. There's these goofy ass explosions and shit. How serious can you take something when a wolf man blow up some shit and actually howls after doing it? It gets they have one thing in here that actually feels like it's a good subplot. They have Fairuza Balk in here, who is look, there's gonna be spoilers in this. People, doesn't matter. It's just silly.
You know what she is as soon as you see her.
Yeah, she looks like she's mostly woman, but she's mixed in with cat genes. And there's a moment where she's getting
Fairuza Balk.
Yeah.
Isn't that just how she is? Anyway?
Yeah, shit. And people say, well, shit, she's a real mutant anyway. So, but there's a scene where they gang up on her to kill her, and she's trying to defend herself, and she actually makes cat noises, and the cat noises sound like something off of a Halloween record. it sounds like a cat.
like when somebody falls off screen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Stupid comedy.
But the thing is like, all right, that's supposed to be weird. That's supposed to be kind of crazy. You know, you can take all of that being over the top. It's kind of fun in a way. It's like, yeah, you know what? Sure, this is coming from some serious literature, but embrace it, man. Go ahead and go crazy.
I mean, H.G. Wells, he's known as one of the classic sci-fi writers.
Yeah.
But
Time Machine.
Yeah, but his stuff was written a long time ago, before a lot of real science was known.
Yeah.
So
War of the Worlds. And
War of the Worlds,
Time
Kingdom of the
Machine.
Blind, the Time Machine.
Yeah.
Like the science in it, it's like, oh, that's adorable for the turn of the century. But
yeah,
it was a while after that.
it was Victorian age stuff that he
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
But that's the beauty of his writing is that he always finds a way to, or people find a way to adapt it. And sometimes it's adapted in a way where they are truly taking the science seriously, and then there's some times where they just do the most campy and pulp stuff with it. And this is what this felt like. It felt like it was embracing that. So with the animals, I mean, they're mutant, weird animals. Yeah. Go all the way, man. If that's what you want to do, I'm fine with that. Shit, have them
Go on, baby. I'm with you.
Yeah, blow all this shit up. Goddamn wolf with nipples right here, blowing up some a shack. All right, sure.
Sure, why not?
I think he shot him with a gun or something too, didn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like a flare gun.
but it's with a flare gun. Yeah,
He's like, yeah, he did, goddamn.
but when you get into it, that's why you say it's not the animals that are the problem. It's the humans.
Oh Lord.
that are creeping you out. The humans are creeping you out more than these goddamn crazy animals, man. When Marlon Brando shows up, Marlon Brando, he saw, when Marlon Brando shows up, he saw what everyone was talking about with this being weird, and he says, you know what? Whatever y'all think is weird in this, I'm gonna burn that motherfucker to the ground.
And you know what's crazy? That's just him on the way to the bank.
Yeah.
That's how he's on set.
The movie is already weird and crazy, and he says, I'm gonna upstage all of that. From the first appearance of him in this movie, that is the first appearance of him.
That's his
that's when he first-
his first appearance.
His first appearance, he says, I'm gonna make sure y'all know I'm the goddamn king of crazy in this bitch around here. When he shows up and he does things that where people don't even the crew didn't know what was going on. They said, first of all, him being in that makeup was looking like the Joker. That was never in the script. And where's this crazy ass accent coming from?
Don't you feel the heat? As I do. I can't tolerate the sun. And what it's doing to me and what it's doing to all of us, of all life on Earth.
It's like he's doing Boris Karloff.
I don't know what he's doing. A lot of people said they didn't understand what the fuck he was doing. He would even go around with this crazy accent and tell people. There was a German dude on the set, some dude from a movie Europa, and he said, I speak German, and the guy's like, okay, let's talk in some German. And he said, and the guy said, yeah, Marlon Brando just looked at me and said, and he told him, he said, that is not German, man. And he's like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. He just walked away. And nothing
because of the heat.
and they
You don't speak German.
The reason why he decided to do this, he said, first of all, I'm hot and I just want to put all white on. So that's why he just made it part of the character, even though nobody knew what he was doing at first. And so you come in and you say, fine, all right, at least he can explain that. He's hot. He's trying to deflect the heat. He made it part of his character. Cool. But Marlon Brando don't want you to explain things. Marlon Brando don't want you to rationalize what's happening.
You better put that in the trivia.
You call him Marlon Rando, which sounds about right.
Which sounds right, because he's random as man. He even acknowledges with the character that he's crazy.
I want to be like you. Will I never be like you?
But I hope not.
He's like, shit, I hope you ain't as crazy as I am.
That's them at lunchtime. Talking to the trailer.
And so people were even still able to explain. They said, well, okay, he put this bucket on his head because he's still talking about how goddamn hot it is out here. Fine, he let him have the bucket, man. That's what cools him off. And he's like, okay, y'all still trying to explain shit.
I'm not fired yet?
Yeah. Oh, y'all still trying to figure me out. Y'all still have excuses for what I do. And that's when he came in and really he made a demand. He said, listen, all right, how about this? Y'all explain this shit. Get me, I must have this. I must have the smallest midget in the world. Not just any midget, but you find me the smallest one on the planet and bring him to me.
And put him in a rap video.
Yeah.
Hey, ho.
He got that sag too.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's
Crisscross and bacon.
Nelson De La Rosa. At the time, he was in his 20s, and he was recorded as the smallest man in the world, and Marlon Brando had to adopt him. And it's funny because it's
for
not
3 months.
yeah, and he just has him, and they don't explain shit with what he does. Like he got him. They found him. Put him in a box and mailed his ass there.
Only 3 stamps.
Yeah, and they said, yeah, that's the lightweight package, man.
Stamp on a Salacious Crumb Jr.
And it was not enough for him to come there and just be in mutant makeup and be one of his creations. No, he had to do crazy shit. Like they had to dress alike, and not just dress alike. They had to dress in the weirdest shit you could find. Like they both sitting up here looking like Jimi Hendrix or Aunt Mabel or something. You know, this is them. They are dressed alike with no explanation at all.
Well, Mr. Douglas, very good of you to join us. Please tell me, is the devil still pursuing you?
And people are actually sitting there like, what the man? Like, what is happening with this movie?
Even Fruza Balk's character's like, what the?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do they get matching moo-moos from?
Yeah. They look like a old British woman's evening dress.
Yeah.
Oh, he's moo-moos on the whole movie.
Yeah, this is like two ass gypsy women sitting over here about to tell your fortune. Marlon Brando, you can see this in the movie. He actually made this guy a pet. It wasn't like he didn't even treat him like a human being. That was his little dress-up doll.
Okay.
Oh.
He's like, this mother.
This is like a dude that walks around. It's like women who walk around with chihuahuas.
Right. Yeah, no, that's a brilliant point, or analogy rather. That's so perfect because that's exactly what he acts like. Like, you know, the chihuahuas, they don't really care. They hand them off to somebody.
One of those little pocketbook dogs.
Yeah, they play with them for a minute and they hand them off to somebody. And you see his face. He's like, man, if I didn't need this money, I swear to God, I'd crawl up this motherfucker's ass.
On the contrary, he loved it, man.
Oh, I bet he loved it.
That little man, he loved it. He thought, because that story I told you about when he went to the German dude, it was like, I speak some German. And the guy's like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Fuck you then. He went over to Nelson De La Rosa, and he's like, I speak some Spanish. And of course, this little man was like, that's awesome, that's great. And then and that German dude said, and the next thing I know, this little motherfucker was in every scene, and I got cut out. Whatever privileges Marlon Brando got, it all rolled down to little man right here. Like he went around thinking, and he got a big head, no pun intended either. No, the dude, his ego blew up to the point where he was going around, he was trying to just fuck all kind of women and everything. Dudes would actually try to like the guy who got his role taken by him. He came up and he's like, he even tried to be cool about it, like, hey, how you doing? And he said he was like a little animal. He's like, he's like, he would snap at me. It is weird. Now, this is part of a documentary that I'm going to be mentioning a little bit later that plays a big part in this. But from this documentary, this is the crew talking about Nelson De La Rosa and how his ego just got inflated by being Marlon Brando's pet.
So Nelson was about 17 inches or something. We'd go dancing and stuff. He'd get down and...
It's cute, man. Little arms, little clothes, man.
At least he can dance on beat and let the rest of them.
It's like I'm trying to see if we can get to the dude that's talking about him. This is a long clip. I'm going to play some long things.
That's
you know,
fine with me.
Yeah, no, this is fascinating, man.
Yes.
Nah, man. You can look at him when he looks so cute. You can see why Marlon Brando wanted him, man.
Yeah.
Marlon Brando was probably trying to buy his ass before he even made this movie.
Yeah, he was very sexual.
And I said, hey, Nelson, how was your day? Shut up! And he actually hit me in the nuts.
And that's the actor. I forgot the guy's names from that movie, Europa, and he's talking about, he just tells everything. He just talks about how everybody was crazy. He just didn't know what kind of, it was like he was living this surreal, he said sometimes a nightmare, sometimes just a surreal dream, but it was one of the craziest experiences that he's had.
I mean, cute and everything, but let me ask you this. If that little dude turn around and hit you in the nuts after you said hello to him, how far would you boot him across the room?
I'd kick a field goal with his ass. You wouldn't see his ass no more.
He's talking about the elevator. He'd be in that emergency call box, and I'd lock his little ass in there.
I'll put that mother in my pocket until he learned his lesson.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't give a You're right. I don't give a how cute he is. Yeah. Fuck you, man.
My brother, where's my pet at? I don't know.
Yeah, I'll put that mother in a Planters peanut can and let his ass out the year later. Yeah. Marlon Brando, they and I think he wanted this, even though it might be part of the story. They kill him in the movie, man, and he gets it bad too.
Now I am the law.
Goes on and on.
Yeah, them fools having a buffet right now. Shit, Brando got a lot of meat on him, man. That's gonna take some time.
We gotta get to it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what time it is.
Yeah, I was about to say. Shit. He said, I've been looking at this Rolex for the last 2 years. I'm gonna get this shit. When they kill him, it's almost like the people in the movie, they say, shit, y'all took the most interesting part of the movie out right now. He was more interested in these animals. And that's when they say, hey, Val Kilmer, come up. Guess what? You Brando now.
And then that
he's like, oh, not this shit again.
He's like, I thought we were done with this.
He's like, is that what happened?
He's like, man, we just killed this motherfucker, man, for real. Yeah.
Ask him.
Oh.
Yeah, your man's the new Brando.
He thought you were fucking around.
He's like, cut this shit out, man. Yeah, we just killed Brando, and I was happy. Yeah, man, this is...
Wait, who's that other actor? Is that David Thewlis?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it is.
He looks young, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. That is him, and the casting with this, how it led to this, is kind of crazy too. And really, when you look at Val Kilmer here, he's the one that's really throwing everything off, because Brando gonna be Brando, but Val Kilmer just comes in. He's coming in with all these little weird tics and mannerisms and gestures. Yeah, he's just doing, and again, this is something that kind of, you feel like goes beyond the performance. And you feel like Brando's being weird, so Val Kilmer said, well, you know what, I'm just going to be weird too. It's not that the movie itself is bad. It's all the drama that went on behind the scenes that has made this movie the legend that it is. To get the full Dr. Moreau effect, you just can't watch this movie, because you'll be like me. You'll be like, okay, this is crazy, but this is not one of the all-time worst that I've seen. This is not on a level I can just laugh at it. But as a companion piece, you have to watch this documentary. You have to watch this documentary called Lost Souls, and the subtitle is something like the Doom Project of Dr. Moreau.
This is going to be a huge project, and this is going to propel Richard Stanley into the superstardom that he deserves as an auteur.
Yes, it is. Oh man, you look at this confidence right here. Little did he know. Seriously, little did he know that what the disaster this movie would be, and how it would pretty much drive him insane.
Oh, wow.
It drove him seriously insane.
So what was going on with him before that they were blowing him up so much?
He did a movie called Hardware, so he was kind of an up-and-coming director.
Okay.
He was kind of a visionary guy. His movies were never deep, but then British, yeah. They were never...
Anybody British dick back then.
Yep. They were never... His ideas were never deep. I mean, the movies were never deep, but his ideas were cool, man. And everybody thought
and then he turned into Jenny Trail. Crazy.
No, man, this is all the behind the scenes stuff that drove him insane, man. Sure. And it is because he was because people they thought that he really did have they thought he had something cool, man. They looked at A lot of people thought maybe we can't even get this done, but we've seen some great directors who have done things. Francis Ford Coppola, he was working on Apocalypse Now, and that, and
that was disastrous, but it still came out to be a good movie.
And it was a masterpiece. And this guy was selling it by his vision, man. He had a lot of cool concept art.
Yeah, that's some great concept art.
Yeah, and so people were thinking, maybe we can get this done, maybe we can't, but this guy has a vision. Even if we halfway meet it, this is going to be very cool, this project right here. God looked at this guy and said, you know what, I see that the smug look on your face right now. You think you some hot shit. I'm going to put you in your place. I'm going to show you what vision is. I got your vision right here.
You got a movie about playing God. I do that every day.
Yeah. Because the movie started out on a good track, man. I just showed you some of the stuff that was going on, the concept art that they had. Also, it started with a great cast. And this is what they're telling the documentary. It started out with James Woods and Bruce Willis. And Bruce Willis at the time was losing his mind because he was going through a divorce.
Okay.
He was going through a divorce because he had to drop out. James Woods had to drop out. They started to replace him, Bruce Willis, with Rob Morrow, who was in the film. So it looked like things were actually going well. Like they had the concept art right there, even though they lost some of their big stars, but everything was on track and it was ready to go. And it was just almost like God looked at this and just said, boring. I'm not having fun. Tell you what, let's mix it up a little bit. Let's take some of these motherfuckers out and let's replace them with Val Kilmer and Marlon Brando. And when they did that, they might as well have hired two tornadoes, man.
Yep.
They came in and they destroyed this movie. Marlon Brando not only will act crazy on a movie and test you because for some reason the thing that made him a millionaire and a legend he despised.
But he didn't stop doing it.
He doesn't stop doing it. Marlon Brando is almost like a curse. He will get on set and drive everybody crazy. Things that he don't even touch, somehow he is cursed.
Are they seriously saying that Marlon would take $1 million and then not show up?
I swallowed a book.
I mean, it's not in the cards that we're not going to finish the movie.
This is a documentary for the making of Apocalypse Now. It's called Hearts of Darkness, and on that they describe how not only was the set going crazy, the production was in turmoil. It's a fascinating documentary. It's kind of the opposite of this because the movie got made, and they got Marlon Brando at his worst. He was already kind of despising his acting and his job,
his fame and all that.
His fame, but there was a point where he just hated Hollywood. He hated. Y'all thought Mel Gibson was bad. Mel Gibson at least tried to say his shit undercover, and somebody recorded, and then it gets out, and then it's at that point like fuck him anyway. But Marlon Brando would go on Larry King and just say, man, these Jews. I'm angry at the Jews in Hollywood. They caught Marlon Brando where he didn't even like Hollywood. So if you hired him, he was going to fuck with you.
Are you critical of the Hollywood that makes violent movies?
I think that I'm angry with some of the Jews. I'm very goddamn angry at some of the Jews.
And there was also the point where Marlon Brando just kind of lost it when his daughter Cheyenne committed suicide too. So when they got him, man, in there, he was. They had him because he was a name. It was almost like if you were taking a huge risk. You wanted that name in there because it was still huge at the time, but you were taking a big risk having this man out here. He was a big liability. But when you got Val Kilmer and Marlon Brando together, that's when things just turned into a complete disaster. They were both there to sabotage the film.
Val was best described by someone as a prep school bully.
He was sitting in a chair, and then
Now, the reason why I paused it, because this is a story that's actually confirmed to be true.
This one coming up?
Yeah, this one coming up, because a lot of people say, did Val Kilmer really try to burn a guy on the set?
Val was smoking a cigarette, and he goes, and he starts to burn the ends of this guy's hair.
You know, Val Kilmer, you know, like Marlon Brando would just do things to just fuck with people, but he would come out and be respectful to everybody.
Yeah.
The crew.
The crew, yeah. The crew. He would talk to people. He was nice to people. The people were, as much as they heard about how crazy Brando was, they were surprised to see how respectful he was. Val Kilmer was just an asshole, man. He was just a dick. And it's funny.
Did he have that reputation before this?
He was getting there. In fact, Val Kilmer just today, he says, you know, I'm very sorry for what I've done. For this movie, he's like, yeah, I don't ever remember doing that kind of stuff. But he's like, yeah, I think I kind of sabotaged my own career by doing that. And it's funny, too, because if you look in today, he actually looks like one of these mutants from this movie right here. So, you know, he's gone through some shit, man.
Yeah.
Jeez, he looks like somebody's grandmother.
Well, he had gained all that weight and then lost some of it, but then he got throat cancer.
I thought he got throat cancer. Then, man.
He doesn't believe in medicine. Well, shit, he better start believing now.
Yeah.
Richard Stanley, this guy. I mean, you have two people there who that's their main intention, to tear this movie apart, and of course, it falls on the directors. You know, and it's not gonna fall on the stars. It falls on the director right here in the studio. New Line. They just felt like, all right, you know what? We believe in your vision. We gave you all this money. Obviously, you can't control a project this big. The unfortunate thing is we already put this money in, so it has to still keep going. You know, so but
no, please let me quit.
But no, he wanted to stay. But they're like, you know what? But it's gonna go without you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know, hey, you know, so good news, the movie's still happening. Bad news, you ain't. So pack your shit and go home. And he got it all together, and he flew back to London, man. Where people thought that he would never be heard from again, at least as far as this movie goes and the production behind it. That's when they brought in. They said, "All right, you know what?" And that's the thing, man. They thought that they could fix the film. The film, when you have two big stars there who want to ruin this movie,
King Kong and Godzilla.
Yeah, exactly. Just tearing up the set. That's the only time they join forces. They f***ed that movie so bad beyond repair that even an old pro couldn't fix it, because that's what they thought. They said, you know, we're gonna bring in a guy who's not really big anymore, but is old Hollywood and can at least come in and control the set.
He's a worker, yeah.
A guy who's known, has a reputation for being an asshole. They said, you know what, these guys want to be assholes. We'll bring a director who can be just as big of an asshole. That's when they brought in John Frankenheimer, man.
Oh yeah, you know,
yeah,
he's got that reputation.
Yes, he does, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you get John Frankenheimer working on this, I'm like, well, he's done all kind of stuff, and he's an asshole just like everybody else. He'll be able to handle this. Shit. But when you get, he was no match for the duo, Brando and Kilmer, which is the gruesome twosome.
That's it. He couldn't put the gruesome.
No, man, he was. Now he got the movie done.
Let our powers combine.
Man, this is what makes this movie. When you know all this is what makes the movie better, because you can see a lot of that in the film. And like I said, it's what was happening behind the camera that really makes it as legendary as it is, and some of the stuff that is not supposed to be in the film, but is there, even though you got to look for it. Everybody thought like, okay, so, you know, he's done. Got kicked off the project. He told everybody he was going back to London. Rumor was he was not going to work in Hollywood again. He was already trying another career, doing something else. And little did everybody know that he was still in the jungle, man. He had actually went into the jungle and just hid there.
Oh.
And was having a nervous breakdown. He never went home.
Oh. And
there was a couple of effects guys that actually they were the ones that found him. And he's like, "Don't tell anybody I'm out here." You know, and he's like
a tent or some shit.
He would. I don't know. I don't know if he had like dug a burrow and was hiding, living in a hole or what. But yeah, he was just out in the jungle, just hanging, man. And
just kicking it
out there, man. And I think what it was is that he wanted to see. He was just curious to see how I think he wanted to see everybody else suffer.
Right.
He's like, if you're kicking me off of this and this is my vision, you're not going to let me have it. He just wanted to see everything just fall apart. Yeah. And the effects people found him. And so he was like, well, shit, I would love to really get on set and see what's happening. think you can get me one of them dog heads and on the mutant bodies and give me the costume? And they all thought it was funny. Like, yeah, man, sure. And they gave him a mutant costume, and he actually became part of the crew.
300 extras in this tent. Like, Richard's the only one who hasn't taken his mask off.
They say in the movie, man, you know, if you look, you can actually see him in certain scenes right there.
He's
So-
like, you motherfuckers. Got something for y'all.
Yeah, man. So the whole time, if he wanted to, he himself could have sabotaged the whole thing.
But it was being sabotaged enough.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, lit the match and everything.
Right. What more
Well,
can I
no.
do to this?
Fuck it.
Y'all talking about some, you know, everybody went to go see Tommy Wiseau and the Disaster Artist and all that. They need to make a movie about this.
Wow.
You know,
The making of this,
they need to make a dramatization of what went on behind the scenes of Dr. Moreau, man. You have to watch that documentary, Lost Souls.
So you watched the documentary first.
I say watch the documentary first and then go and watch the movie so you can just put all the pieces together as to what happened. Those two things together, it is one of the most fascinating pieces of cinema I've ever seen, man. There you go, people. Again, I'm taking recommendations for future bad films. Gertz already made me a spreadsheet.
Oh, you know,
of course he did.
He already got them lined up, but I'm always open to more. So
He's asking his top 10 movies of all time. That's what it is. Right?
thanks everyone for listening to me talk about these bad movies. Let's keep that going. Hit that subscribe button. And if you really love me, check out our main site, doubletoasted.com. Over there, you'll find the long version of this video, uncensored, unedited. And also the live streams that we do almost every night of the week. Support us at our store, dtmerch.com. And remember to always stay toasty.